Will Stewart here with Will Stewart 365 live. We are live today. We are on air live. For people that don't know, today we got a live show. We're gonna be doing some live unboxings and first impressions, and we're gonna be taking a look at some clones from the house of Tom Ford. And Tom Ford is a brand that I've been kind of researching here lately. And before I go and drop some fat coin on some Tom Ford fragrances, I do have a couple of the actual ones. Well, two to be exact. So I guess that's a couple. But we're going to be taking a look at some of these clones. And if the clones are good, if I enjoy the clone by itself, then I'll probably enjoy the real deal as well. So the thing that kind of spurred this is, for me, I got, this one's already unboxed, so we won't unbox it today. But the thing that kind of started this for me was picking up Tobacco Touch from the house of Mason Alhambra. And this one here is a clone of Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille, right? So Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille is what this one is a clone of. And this one here is really good, actually. So, you know, we will be, let me see if I can get this camera to focus on it. There we go. Tobacco Touch. This is an Eau de Parfum concentration. And this one's really good. It's a really good, sweet, spicy, vanillic, oriental fragrance that, to be honest with you, is absolutely fantastic, right? So if the clone, and in fact, I think I have 3 different clones of this actual clone. It's not a clone of this clone, but they're all clones of Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille. And this one here is just good. I mean, just plain good. And this one will run you got to get it on Amazon right now, because apparently this company here got sued by Tom Ford, and they're not going to be able to make this, at least in this presentation, under this name for a while. But right now, you can pick these up on Amazon for like $25, guys. So Tobacco Vanille, and that's, or so Tobacco Touch is this one. This one's Tobacco Touch. And you can pick these up on Amazon right now if you're in the United States for about $25. $25 US. And yeah, it's good. It's really, really good. But we got a couple people in the chat here. We've got Donna Cullen, Wagwan, Mr. William, what's going on? Azan's in the house. Big up, Azan. And Donna Cullen says, my cap killer gives a fraudulent feel. Well, unfortunately, this is not a Tottenham Hotspur stream, so I do have red things in my life. But yeah, I don't wear it on football streams. But I just got this sent. I was sent a bunch of merch and products from Ballon Blanc, which people that don't know who Ballon Blanc is and why I always wear Ballon Blanc hats. Is Ballon Blanc is a cosmetics company, a Korean cosmetics company. They're currently in the process of developing some fragrances, some colognes. I look forward to getting those, but they primarily do skincare. So skincare, believe it or not, I'm older than I look. I don't know if you can see from the part of my beard that I didn't shave today. It's Saturday, so I took a little bit of day off on trimming that up. I'm older. I am older than people think, and I am 42 years old, 43 years old now, actually, 43 years old. I had a birthday a couple months ago, but I forgot. So I'm 43 years old. And I like to take care of my skin, so it helps me to stay looking young. I mean, I'm blessed a little bit with a little bit of a baby face, and so it's not that thing. But they sent me a bunch of merch because the original hats that I've been wearing for the last year and a half, I purchased with my own money, right? So, but I did get noticed due to some of the content that I make, and they sent me a bunch of free hats and a bunch of their skincare products that we are going to be reviewing in some form or fashion on this channel here, Will Stewart 365. And it's important. And the reason why it ties into the fragrance community side of things, right? The fragrance aspect of it is because if you enjoy fragrances, your skin is the palette on which those fragrances perform, right? So if the fragrance is the artwork, your skin is the palette. And the alcohol that's in fragrances can actually cause wrinkles as you age in your neck. It can cause, wherever you're spraying that fragrance, because you got to remember, most fragrances are about 80% alcohol, right? If you're in an EDT or an EDP concentration, they're 80% alcohol, and that alcohol will dry your skin out, right? There are oils, obviously, in fragrance as well. And plus, having hydrated skin allows your fragrance to perform better. And in fact, I have a product that Ballon Blanc sent me that I'm actually in the middle of doing a somewhat scientific, research on or study on. And it's they have a multi-moisturizing balm that when you rub it as a base underneath your fragrance, it allows that fragrance longevity to perform more. It allows the top notes to stay around longer. So maybe some of your fragrances, your summer fragrance that maybe only have, 4 to 5 hours of projection, and or like the one that I've been testing it on with is Dolce & Gabbana, the one EDT, which usually only lasts about 45 hours on skin. And let's just put it this way. I put it on last night at around midnight. And this afternoon at noon, I could still smell it on my skin. So that's 12 hours. Now, it wasn't strong. It wasn't projecting monstrously, but you could still smell it. Where on the other arm, the untreated arm in which I sprayed that fragrance, I couldn't smell it at all. So this could be, and there's a lot of people who have done this, tricks with Vaseline, other things, putting lotion on before you put your fragrance on, etc., etc., etc. And a lot of people say that those are wives' tales, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to do this scientifically. I'm going to do it with multiple fragrances over multiple days and weeks. And when I would do a review on this product from Ballon Blanc, which I think it will have a very, it's not going to be like a controlled double-blind placebo type of a study, but we're going to do as scientific of a study on this as Will Stewart can possibly do. But that's another thing. So even with your skin and in keeping your skin healthy and moisturized, will allow your fragrances to not only smell the way that they were intended, because the pH balance of your skin can affect the way that certain fragrances smell on your skin. You can get sometimes fragrances will have a sulfuric smell based on your skin chemistry, etc., etc. All of those things impact the fragrances. And Ballon Blanc, which is a Korean cosmetics company, and they are Korean cosmetics companies are known, worldwide in the industry for being some of the best skincare products on the market. And we're going to take a look at some of those that they sent me. I'm going to test them out first. We're going to put them to use first before I recommend them to you guys, because while I'm not sponsored by them, so Don Cullen asks, are you sponsored by Ballon Blanc? I am not sponsored. I'm not being paid by them, but I did receive some things for free to use, basically just for my own. But I enjoy all these products. Ballon Blanc, I've been using their sunblock for years now. My wife used a lot of their face masks, facial masks, and stuff like that. So it's a company that we use and spend a lot of our money on, regardless of whether I did it or not. But we got Ozon here. He says he went to Dillard's and picked up the Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male. How'd you like it, man? Let me know what you thought about it down below. Who else we got here? Perchy Joint from Twitter. I don't know if he's still here, but big up. Cold Shots in the house as well. He says, I spray my wrist and rub it, but I've heard rubbing is a bad idea. Yeah, so you're not supposed to do that. So basically you just want to let it dry naturally. If you rub it, you're kind of crushing or you're mixing those molecules. So, perfumers are actually chemists. And a guy that I really enjoy watching on YouTube, you may want to check out, is Aaron Terrence Hughes. I have a bunch of his fragrances over here in that corner. You can kind of see him right there, just in front of that Champions League soccer ball. But he is an actual perfumer and chemist, and so he, you're crushing or forcing those molecules into a manner in which they weren't meant to be done. So basically, you just want to spray evenly as much as you can. Usually about, I'd usually do about 4 to 5 inches away from the arm, and I'll spray. Kind of just run the fragrance 1, 2, 3. I tend to do. I'm a little bit of an oversprayer. I'm not like a crazy oversprayer, but I do spray quite a bit. But yeah, you shouldn't rub it. It's probably not good to do that. I haven't really done like a study myself to see if that actually impacts or makes an actual difference. But people online say it's a bad deal. And then you got Ozone, a very grown-up fragrance, but How to Treat Myself for Christmas. Yeah, it's pretty. Which one did you get? Did you get the original Le Mans? The original Le Mans is very kind of, it's very powdery and a bit messy. But yeah, let me pull up my Fragrantica. Let me get my Fragrantica ready here, so that way when we get started with these unboxings, that we don't have to waste time interrupting it and stuff like that. We can just throw these in there and we'll look them up. But Tobacco Touch is kind of the first one that's first clone of Tom Ford that I picked up. And this is a Tobacco Vanille clone. And just let you guys know about the notes on this one. So this one here is basically vanilla, bunch of different stuff. So vanilla is kind of like the main accord. So you're going to get like the main aspect of this fragrance is going to be vanilla, and it's a really good vanilla. It's rich. The performances on this is pretty good. I got about 8 to 10 hours on this one when I wore it, and just right off the top, I mean, the quality is pretty good. So the House of Maison Alhambra, for people who don't know, is owned by the company Latafa, which is a Middle Eastern fragrance brand. And so these are all made in the United Arab Emirates, I do believe. And Tobacco Touch is a very vanillic, sweet, like warm and spicy fragrance with tobacco in the base, right, in the top. But you get it at the top as well, so you're getting that tobacco. So in the top notes on this one, I guess I could share screen. We can do that here on StreamYard, I think. And so let me figure out which layout I want to do. Yeah, so I guess, can we do it on that one? I don't know, maybe not. We'll do it on this one. But we'll present the screen here and we'll show you guys the notes on this one so you guys can see what we're talking about here. And we'll add that to the stage. So you got the top notes of tobacco, spicy notes, tobacco in the middle, vanilla, tonka bean, cacao, so a chocolate. And in the base notes, you get dried fruits and some woody notes. And this one for me is really good. So when I bought this one, I had to say, okay, like the review for this one is coming out on the channel here pretty soon. And I almost in the middle of recording the video, luckily editing takes out a lot of the dead spots, but right in the middle of that video, I really started, investigating on how I can actually buy the original. But I've heard that the original is maybe not as good as it could be. And that a lot of people say that if you've got this one or some of the other ones that we're going to be unboxing today and comparing, you don't really need to buy the original. I'm gonna have to figure it out for myself. So I may have to get a Tom Ford, clone, or what do you call that? Decant of it, just to really compare the original to see if I need to buy the original or not. But you got Tobacco Touch here in the Eau de Parfum concentration from the House of Maison Alhambra, and it's a good one. It's a good one. So check that one out. You can pick a lot of these up. Every one that you can pick up, you should be able to pick up on Amazon for pretty cheap right now. At least right now, And I've heard that they're going to be discontinued. So if you don't get them now, you may not have the opportunity to get these at a good price. And when fragrance, for people that don't know, when fragrances get discontinued, the value on them goes up pretty significantly. You can a lot of the time sell them, you know, with like 97% full on Amazon or on eBay for like $200, even sometimes in the clones. But the next one we're going to take a look at, so this is Tobacco Touch. And another company that we're going to take a look at here, and this is basically the same clone. You can see the presentation on this one here is very similar to the others. And we're going to, I need to change my autofocus so that it focuses on the, instead of focusing on my face, it focuses on the product. But we've got this one here, and this is Tobacco Touch. And as well, this is another clone from the house. This is from Fragrance World, and this is Vanilla and Tobacco in the Eau de Parfum concentration. Again, the boxes are very similar. So this one's a little bit taller. Here you got the Tobacco Touch box, right? But they're very, you know, it's kind of copying the Tom Ford presentation from the Tom Ford signature lines. And this one here is 80 mil, and it's 80% by volume. On the back here, you've got all the other information, all that good stuff. Let's open this one up and see how this one compares to Tobacco Touch. So let's grab our handy dandy knife here, cut this one open. And with the, I tend to like to keep the plastic on the box a lot of the times, but for the clones, it doesn't really matter because they're cheap. And with these, you got to be careful because a lot of times with these boxes that just slip over, if you don't take the plastic off upside down, when you go to take the plastic off, that just falls open. But here's the presentation. It does come in that little Tom Ford-esque type of a package, you know, where you can get the bottle sits, you know, in the box here, and you pull it up. This one here is manufactured by Fragrance World Parfums, and it is made in the UAE. So this one is made in the United Arab Emirates as well. So another, you know, kind of a dupe or a clone. And this one here, presentation wise, I'm gonna like the Tobacco Touch a little bit better. So with the Tobacco Touch, you can see that it has kind of like a metal plate sticker. It may not even be metal, but it kind of looks like a metallicized sticker. Whereas on the Vanilla and Tobacco from Fragrance World, it's literally just a flat gold sticker that's not even put on there straight, right? So it's a little crooked. So with these, you're gonna get, sometimes you're gonna get a little bit of a weird difference going on with different fragrances and stuff like that. But this one here on the top, the atomizer, you do have like a little logo there on the atomizer that says Fragrance World, which is kind of cool. And then let's take a look at the atomizer itself and see how close it is. About 3 or 4 sprays to get that one going on. Okay, so for me, this one, the Tobacco Vanille, or sorry, the Tobacco Touch, which is a clone of Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille for Maison Alhambra, is a little bit richer, sweeter, richer, more tobacco-ish vibe off the top. Whereas this one is maybe a little bit, the Fragrance World one is a little bit less pronounced. Right? So I don't think that so out of between these two, for me, you've got Tobacco Touch, this one here from Maison Alhambra, the House of Maison Alhambra, is about $25. Fragrance World, I think this is around $30. Both in 80 ml bottles. You can see the bottle size is pretty much exactly the same. Maybe this one's a little bit wider. The cap presentation, again, is very similar. You know, almost identical here in the caps and how those present themselves. Yeah, so for me, out of these two, Tobacco Touch is going to get the win on this one. The Fragrance World of Vanilla and Tobacco, this one is good. Like, it's good, but it's it just feels lighter, not as heavy, not as deep, not as rich, not as projecting. A little bit more fruits off the top. Let's take a look, see if there's a difference in the notes between the two of them. And we'll throw this into the Fragrantica. Fragrantica is a website that has a lot of the clones. I prefer Parfumo for regular brands, designer brands. And Parfumo does have quite a few clones as well, but usually not as many as Fragrantica. Fragrantica has a far larger network. But we've got vanilla and Sabac. Vanilla and tobacco. They don't have this one on Fragrantica either. Did I spell it right? Yep, I did. They don't have this one on Parfumo. This is a fairly new one from the House of Fragrance World. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you can get the Mason Alhambra, that's gonna be my recommendation to you guys. Go pick this one up if you can. You can get it on. You can find this one on Amazon. Tobacco Touch for around $25. I think is what I paid for it. Get it while you can, because apparently they got sued by Tom Ford, and they're not going to be able to produce this or sell it in the United States for much longer. So if you live in the US, you want to try to get your hands on this, right now is the best opportunity to do that. $25. Trust me, if you like tobacco and vanilla fragrances, deep, rich, dark tobacco fragrances, you'll love it. You will love it. But it's not, the Fragrance World one is not as good. So we're going to skip on that one. It's not bad. So like I would give it 7 out of 10, but the Tobacco Touch actually absolutely rocks my world. Like for me, that one just absolutely blew me away when I first got that. So tobacco and vanille. So vanille and tobacco. 7 out of 10. Tobacco Touch for me, 9 out of 10. Like I enjoyed this so much that I don't know if I would need to buy the original. The Fragrance World one may smell closer to the original, but for me, the Tobacco Touch is a far better one. But we've got another one for this that's a copy of this particular Tom Ford fragrance. Let me move some of this out of the way here. We've got this one here, and this one is Charuto Tobacco and Vanille from the House of Pandora. So this is Pandora Scents, Charuto Tobacco and Vanille. So this one here has got a different presentation. They didn't copy the Tom Ford one. Again, you can pick a lot of these up online. If your favorite discounter, just search in the Google box for a lot of these and you should be able to pick them up. I think I picked a lot of mine up on Amazon. So a lot of times Amazon has the same prices on clones as a lot of the other discounters, and Amazon's just easier and faster for me. But this one here, you got the lid, it opens to the front, the box, nothing aggressively special about the box. On the back here, you do have some ingredients information, etc., etc. This one too may or may not be made in the United Arab Emirates. Looks like it is. Yep, made in the UAE. So I like a lot of Middle Eastern fragrance brands. So this one's got a little bit different of a look. So you kind of got that same vibe, right? Like, so here's the Tobacco Touch. And this is, you know, pretty much exact copy of the Tom Ford presentation for this particular fragrance, which was Tobacco Vanille. On this one here, you got a little bit of a different presentation. And I actually kind of like this presentation a little bit better. It's got a matte, you know, it's a matte glass, a little bit lighter of a color. You got a clear plastic top with a sticker on the top. On the front, you have Chorito, which looks like you've got like Jose Cuervo or something like that, smoking a cigar. Caps, plastic, super light. They all are on all of these. No, you know, atomizer though on the last two are pretty decent, pretty normal, pretty average for. So put 3 or 4 sprays on there. Big up My Celtics Built, big up, Big Willie style. Hope you're enjoying the show. He says, how do you decide to pick a scent if you haven't smelled it yet? Well, so I have about 175 fragrances in my collection right now. So after buying that many and spending that much money, you kind of get to know what notes you like. And so, but at the beginning, man, I just blind buy, watch a review on YouTube and just buy it. So I do have a few fragrances that I don't like. They're in here, like John Varvatos Artisan Pure. I don't like it. Yeah, I got 175. So this one here smells actually quite a bit like the Fragrance World. So flatter on the top, like it doesn't jump off of the tester strip, right? Like it's, oh man, this is glorious. Like I don't get that vibe. Smells good. This one's more tobacco forward than the Fragrance World. About the same amount of tobacco in the top as the Mason Alhambra Tobacco Touch. But maybe a little lighter on that vanilla in the top. Which vanilla is not supposed to be in the top. But I'm telling you, that Mason Alhambra's got so much vanilla in it. It's not even crazy. But let's bring this one. Let's check this one out, see if they have the notes here for this one on Fragrantica. I'm getting the Tom Ford one. TOBACCO NILE. There it is. Chihuahua Tobacco. So we'll add this one up we'll present this one on screen. And throw this one up here. So yeah, so you can see there that's the all those ads on Fragrantica. Tobacco Vanille from Pandora Scents, you can see it's tobacco is the main accord. Whereas on the Tobacco Touch, you had the vanilla that was in the top in the main accord. This one's maybe a little bit more tobacco focused, which isn't a bad idea. But you could definitely smell that off the top, right? Like you could definitely smell that was the case right off the top. Let's see if I can, let's go a little, yeah, we'll do it this way. We'll do it this way. And so I think we can, and if we minimize this screen here, it'll make it better. Yeah, that's better. So what we've got going on here is in the notes section, you can see that the notes are pretty much just straight up for tobacco and vanilla. So not all the extra stuff. So this is going to be a little bit more simple, a little bit more generic, right? But for me on the Tobacco and Touch, you can see that there's a lot more notes in this one here, right? You've got top notes of tobacco, spicy, vanilla, tonka bean, cacao, dried fruits, woody notes. That one was deeper, richer, more, amazing. So, I don't know. For me, this one was just a lot better than this one here. But this one for me is better than the Fragrance World. A lot of people have said the opposite. A lot of people said this one absolutely sucks. I don't think so. The tobacco is really good. Vanilla is there too. For my particular nose and my particular preferences, I like this one more than the Fragrance World tobacco or vanilla and tobacco. But again, right now, leading the race in the tobacco vanille clones for me, Tobacco Touch is the number one. Sweet, deep, rich, glorious. A lot of people have said, there's a couple guys like Aromatics on YouTube. He said that he liked the Fragrance World one better. I don't. I think the Tobacco Touch, or just maybe the bottle of Tobacco Touch that I have is really good or something. I don't know. It's like better than normal. But this one for me, I mean, this one, just as soon as you spray it on there, I'll grab another test strip and just spray it on there. As soon as you spray it on, It's just straight up boom, beautiful. Really in your face. There's not a whole lot of alcohol spray. Oh, it's just good. It's really good. This one's really good for me. Really good for me on that one. But that's these three. Do I have any more? No, I don't have any more from this particular one. So this is a clone of Tom's Ford Tobacco Vanille. And so as you can see, I'll show you what that one looks like. Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille here. The notes on this one, main accord, see, it's a lot more similar to the Mason Alhambra Tobacco Touch. Vanilla in the top, sweet tobacco, warm and spicy, fruity, woody, cacao, powdery. And then when we take a look at the notes here, tobacco leaf, spicy notes, vanilla, cacao, tonka bean, tobacco blossom. So that wasn't in the Mason Alhambra dried fruits and wood notes. So I think this one, I think the Tobacco Touch is going to be a little bit more closer to the original than maybe this one or the Fragrance World one. But do you guys like tobacco and vanilla fragrances? I personally do. I love tobacco and vanilla fragrances. I'm going to be having a couple more reviews of some other niche brands. We've got Xerjoff Naxos, which is a tobacco honey fragrance, which is really good. Zarhoff tobacco's or signature tobacco. We're going to be doing a review on that one. We've already got Parfums Marley Herod, which is a really good tobacco fragrance, as well as this one here. I'm gonna have to get a decant and or purchase the full bottle of it, but because I'm so curious. I need to get a decant. I should go on ScentSplint tonight and just pick up a decant, even though it's gonna cost me money. But the next one is that we're gonna be taking a look at is Toscano Leather, and this is another one from the House of Mason Alhambra, and we're gonna be taking a look at this, and this is a little bit different. So this is a leather-based fragrance, and this is Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford. This is I have not smelt Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford, but this again I picked up on Amazon for about $20. So I figured if I enjoy the fragrance like I did with the Tobacco Touch without ever smelling the original, then the original can only be better. Can't be any worse, usually. 99% of the time, it can only be better. So we're going to take a look at this one here. We're going to open this one up. This one, again, from the House of Mason Alhambra, which is owned by Lattafa, which is a well-known Middle Eastern fragrance brand. And this one, again, too, is made in the UAE. And you can pick this one up on Amazon for about $25-30 bucks. A little ASMR for you guys while I pull this plastic off of here. Normally I edit that sound out in my videos. Yeah, 20 bucks. What could go wrong? I'm telling you right now. Tobacco Touch. If you like tobacco and vanilla, pick it up. Pick it up. I don't think you'll dislike it at all. I think you'll enjoy it quite a bit. But this one here, we're going to go with Tuscan Leather. And this is a Tuscan Leather clone. So again, you're getting that Mason Alhambra bottle, right? This is doing that Tom Ford signature line kind of copy. Again, you're getting that kind of 3D metallicized plaque sticker, as well as a 3D metallicized plaque sticker on the top. Plastic cap. Nothing special about the cap, nothing special about the atomizer. Just a normal blank atomizer. Again, square blank bottle, but I really do like this Tom Ford style of bottle. It's pretty dope, and they look pretty good on the shelf, to be honest with you. We're gonna spray this one here on a test strip. This is the first time that I've smelt anything that's even related to this whatsoever. Okay, so this one is very leathery. Maybe a little bit earthy. So an earthy, leathery vibe out of this one. We'll throw this one over here on that. We'll let you look at the bottle here while I see if I can get that to focus a little bit better. So you got tobacco, you've got, or no, maybe not tobacco. So it's leather. It's not overly animalic, at least in this particular one. I have heard some YouTubers say that that this one is a bit animalic. Well, this one isn't. So the Mason Alhambra one is not overly animalic. So I'm getting spices and basically spices and leather. Let's take a look at the notes on this one, see what we got. So this one is a clone of Tuscan Leather by Tom Ford, and it's called Toscano Leather by Mason Alhambra. You can see how close they are in presentation and in the name, copying the name. So Toscano Toscano Leather by Mason Alhambra. So we'll throw this one up on the screen here. And so leather, animalic. I'm not getting animalic out of this. Amber, smoky, fruity, warm, spicy, woody, sweet. Now it is starting to sweeten up. There is like a raspberry, like before I go down and actually look at the notes, like a raspberry type of a vibe coming through underneath the leather. And that's common in leather fragrances, that they'll do like a lot of leather and raspberry. But let's take a look. So you got animal notes, which is going to be like animal musks. Yep, there's a raspberry. Stop doing that, eBay. This is another reason why I don't like this website. So top notes, you've got animal notes, saffron. So that's where you're getting the spice from. So saffron is for people that don't know, saffron is a spicy note. It's a flower, but it's got more of a spicy character to it. Thyme, leather, raspberry, which you can pick up the raspberry in here. You couldn't feel it. You couldn't get it right off the top. Right off the top was pretty much just a leather. But this one isn't overtly animalic. There is a little bit of an animalic sense to it because, I mean, it's dark. It's kind of, maybe that was that earthiness that I was talking about, right out of the top. But it's not overly animalic. Like I have some fragrances that are animalic. That they are animalic. They smell like, you know, a ravaging beast. But this one's not overly animalic. So you got animal notes, saffron, thyme, leather, raspberry, woody notes, incense. I'm not getting a whole lot of the incense right now. I'm not getting a smoky vibe off of this one. Jasmine. In the base, you got a leather amber. So for me, the main ones for this is you're going to get like a spicy, somewhat animalic, like a musky, like a dirtiness to that leather, right? So raspberry, leather, and amber. But the raspberry is not pronounced. The raspberry is more of, like it sits under the leather and it kind of sweetens that leather up, because sometimes the leather fragrances can be very kind of off-putting. So for me on this one, you're getting that raspberry sits in there nice. And then obviously the leather's there. The leather smells to me like, it doesn't smell like car leather. It smells more like a chucka boot leather. Right? So like a shoe leather. Because, you know, different types of leathers have a different smell. Like for me, in my brain, I kind of process belt leather, wallet leather, right? Sofa leather, car seat leather. This smells more like a chucka boot leather type of a smell. Is it blowing my socks off? No. but it's good. Like I'd wear this in the winter and fall. This one for me though, I would probably wear in like a more serious situation, like if I was going to like a wedding or like a formal event. Like this one, I would rock this one if I was wearing a tuxedo, right? Black tie events. Maybe like awards ceremonies, you know, along that way. But it's good. I'll give it 8 out of 10 for now. It's not blowing my socks off. For me though, Tobacco Touch, 10 out of 10 on that one for me. 10 out of 10. But we've got another one. This one here is from the House of Mason Alhambra again. This one is Woody Oud. And Woody Oud is a clone of Tom Ford's Oud Wood, which all of these Tom Ford fragrances range between $250 and $300. So picking it up for, you know, 10% of the price at $25 on Amazon, even if it gets you within 90%, is a good bargain if you don't have a lot of cash. You know what I'm saying? Good bargain if you don't have a lot of cash. But this one here again from the House of Mason Alhambra, which is another Middle Eastern fragrance brand. And this is a clone of, get rid of the packaging. Tom Ford Oud Wood. So Oud is another one that comes. So what Oud is, for people that don't know, Oud is kind of like the resin and or oil that comes from a tree that's infected with a particular type of like parasite or disease. And so the tree excretes oud in order to fight that infection. And so sometimes oud can literally smell like poop. Sometimes oud can have, but it's a very deep, dark, rich. Now this, being as cheap as it is, oud is very expensive, because to get an oud that doesn't smell like literal feces is very expensive, right? You have oud from Thailand, you have oud from different places. This channel is Will Stewart 365. That's what this channel is. The presentation, again, it's going to be very similar to that, but oud in and of itself is very Middle Eastern. A lot of Middle Eastern fragrances contain oud. A lot of fragrances from that style contain oud. And oud can be very masculine. It can be very sensual. It can be very dirty if it's done in the right way. This, being a clone, is not going to have real oud. It's going to have like different ingredients that kind of form that smell, right? That profile of a smell. But again, here in Eau de Parfum, let's grab a test strip here. A lot of times they mix oud with rose. And it's where you get a little bit of that deeper, darker, musky type of a smell, right? This is actually pretty good. So for me, this doesn't even really smell that much like oud. Let me put another spray. So there's a kind of like there's an oud vibe to it, but it definitely doesn't smell like real oud, right? Real oud is far richer smelling, right? It is a very pungent thing, oud. But this one for me smells like a deep woody, like if you ever go into the woods, right? If you've ever been in the woods and you found kind of like a rotting tree, and you kind of smell that and that earthiness of it, but it's almost like a sweet earthiness. That's kind of what oud smells like a sweet, you know. Again, use case on these oud fragrances in general is wintertime, fall time, special events. It smells very elegant. Let's take a look at the notes on this one. You guys can see what those are. And this one is Woody Oud by Mason Alhambra. So let's share the screen again. So Woody Oud by Mason Alhambra. So you got woody, right? I mean, that's the main factors. The main factors in this one is gonna be it's woody, an oud, amber, warm, spicy, animalic. Right, you're getting that animal smell. It's good. Let's take a look at the actual notes. There's going to be some kind of a fruit in here or flower. No. So you got agar wood, which is the wood that they get oud from, right? And it's rotten agar wood. I don't know why this website is going crazy, but so in the top you've got oud, in the base you've got sandalwood. Or in the middle, you got sandalwood. In the base, you've got amber wood, Cambodian oud, and oud. So this is just straight up oud and woods. This one, I'm going to have to get a decant of the original oud wood from Tom Ford. Because I like this. I like this. Like if you were new to fragrances, or if you don't have a lot of different kinds of fragrances, and you were to smell this for the first time, you probably wouldn't like it that much. Probably like, oh, what's this? But after you get some more and more fragrances in your collection, your palate, you start to, it's kind of like food, right? The more food you eat from different countries and stuff like that, the more you find that you enjoy. This one is good. And I do have another. So for me, for what it is, oud and woods, a little bit similar to, so if I were to take these three, so you got Tobacco Touch, you've got Woody Oud, and you've got Toscano Leather, right? From Mason Alhambra. These are all Tom Ford clones. This was going to be extremely woody and a little bit of an oud smell to it, but it's not, doesn't smell like poop. Then you have Toscano Leather, which is going to be a little bit fruity leather, but also it's going to be closer smelling to this oud wood. And then Tobacco Touch is going to be more of a sweet, spicy tobacco goodness. But we've got one more clone, again, from the House of Fragrance World here on this one. This one's called Oud Wonder. And this one is just basically another clone from another brand of that Tom Ford Oud Wood. Which is like a $300 fragrance, and the box again is very much the same. Oud Wonder. Again, you can pick this one up on Amazon. We'll see which one I think is better between Oud Wood. Again, presentation wise, the Mason Alhambra is better. As you can see here, this is just a flat sticker. Again, on the top, it's just a flat sticker. It's not like metal or fake metal or anything like that. It's literally just a sticker. Let's grab a test strip and see what this one smells like. This one's better, or if the Mason Alhambra is better. And like I said, the Mason Alhambra ones may or may not be discontinued, so you guys are going to need to pick them up. I would say this fragrance style is not a safe blind buy. So I'm getting, this one's got a little bit of an alcohol blast. The perfumer's alcohol off the top. So I may have to let it sit for a little bit. Alcohol's burning my nose. I can't tell if that's alcohol or if that's something in the fragrance itself. Blow that down a little bit. Okay, so this one's a little bit more animalic, and that's what's making my nose hairs tinge a little bit. Again, it doesn't smell bad. But it smells more like smushed together. And for me, this one, you're not smelling a separation in the notes. For me, and maybe this is just my own personal preference. I don't know how it's supposed to be done because I'm not an expert at this. I'm just a guy that bought a lot of fragrances and talks on YouTube. And for me, the fragrances that I like the most is when you can smell the individual elements of it. Like they're together, but they're apart. Like you can say there's raspberry. Like when I was doing the other one, I could say there's raspberry in this, right? There's leather in it. There's this in it, right? Like you can pick it out. You can. But with the fragrance world ones, while they don't smell bad, they smell squished together. Whereas with the Maison Alhambra, like I can smell the sandalwood, I can smell the oud, I can smell the amber. Like there's a clean definition in between those two, which I think makes of a more an overall. Because in this hand here, I've got the woody oud from Maison Alhambra, and it's just better. Like it's just more pleasant to me. And the fragrance world doesn't seem like it comes off the strip. It doesn't seem like it projects as much. And it seems smushed. So try to avoid the fragrance world ones. I mean, smell them for yourself. I mean, none of these are expensive. But right now, the Maison Alhambra ones, and I'm glad I got these, man. And I may go on Amazon tonight and see if I can find any other Maison Alhambra Tom Ford dupes that I can pick up, because so far these have all been quality, right? These three have all been quality. Whereas the fragrance world ones, while they're not bad, you know, but these, I'm glad, like if these are all going to be discontinued because of a lawsuit, I'm glad I got them now, man. Pick them up while you can, because those, I'm telling you, they're higher quality. They're higher quality. So Maison Alhambra, so M-A-S-O-N, Alhambra, A-L-H-A-M-B-R-A, right? And you just search that on Amazon for any of these Tom Fords. Toscano leather, woody oud, tobacco touch. If you like Tom Ford and you want to get a good dupe for that, these ones right here, man, I'm telling you, they are the bee's knees. They are the bee's knees. But we got one more while we set these up here on the wheel of death here from Maison Alhambra. Good quality. I'm impressed by those, to be honest with you. But this one is more of a summer scent, so we're not in summertime, but it's more of a little bit of a sweet floral. And this will be the last one for the night, and we'll call it a night. But this one here, we've got Porto Neroli. And this is a clone of Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino. And this utilizes neroli, which neroli is a citric flower. So it's a flower off of a citrus tree. And it's very good. I like the note of neroli. Most fragrances that have neroli in it, I enjoy. So this is going to be a completely different. The last three that we did, so these three over here that we were looking at, you know, these are all clones of like winter, fall fragrances. And this one here is a summer type of a vibe. So the projection longevity is not going to be that long, but we're going to see what this one smells like. And let you guys know if this one smashes the box. But again, presentation wise, this one comes in a nice clear blue glass bottle, plastic lid again. But again, you're getting that. You can see you're You're getting that raised kind of metallic sticker, plastic cap, gold atomizer. And the atomizer on these aren't bad. Most clones have pretty decent atomizers. Sometimes clones have better atomizers than a lot of designer fragrances do. But this one is going to be a little bit fruity sweet. Okay, so citrus heavy, fruity sweet. Oh yeah, it's good. Just in the air. Like I have a fan on above me. You can kind of see it swirling in my... So it kind of spins that fragrance around the room. Smells good. Yeah, so this... So this one smells for me... I'm trying to think, it's triggered a scent memory. So kind of like, it smells the way a watermelon Jolly Rancher smells, but with a little bit more citrus in it. So I'm getting like a lemon, but it's a sugary lemon. It's a sweet lemon. Oh, this is quality. This is good. Let's take a look at the notes. You guys can see for yourself. I'm going to say bergamot. So you got citrus, white florals, green, aromatic, and fresh. So this is good. It's like a freshy blue fragrance. It is a little bit sea salty. Definitely citrus. Let's take a look at the notes. So you got neroli, lemon, mandarin orange, jasmine, bitter orange. Yeah. But that lavender in the mids, right? So you got sea salt. I said that before. The lavender mixed with the citruses in the top. And that jasmine and neroli kind of makes it smell almost melony. But it's not like a watermelon. It doesn't smell like watermelon, but you know how watermelon Jolly Ranchers kind of have that, you know, kind of synthetic sweetness to them. Yeah, so it smells just like the original, or close to it, 95%, but it costs about 1/10 of the price. Right, so this from Tom Ford, which is the Neroli Portofino from Tom Ford, costs about 250 pounds or $280. And it lasts about 4 hours. And this one here, which is Middle Eastern, smells 90 to 95% exactly like it. Costs $25 on Amazon. And I've even heard that this particular one lasts longer than the original. And so I have a lot of the originals. I have several Tom Fords. I have fragrances that cost more than Tom Fords. But a lot of people can't afford that. But this one smells good. And so if you can find a good quality, like you may not get 100%. You're not going to get the exact, it's not an exact replica, but you can get close. And if some of the knockoffs have poor quality, some of them have really good quality. And this one's good. Okay, so now this is starting to smell like Fruit Loops. You know the cereal Fruit Loops? As this is dried down a little bit, it smells like Fruit Loops. Like the way Fruit Loops smell when you open the box and you pour it into the bowl. It smells like Fruit Loops. It smells like Fruit Loops. It's good. It smells good. So in the middle notes, you got orange blossom, lavender, sea salt. And then the base, you got herbal notes, wormwood, and amber. So I'll be interested in what the dry down smells like, because that doesn't sound like a very, very exciting dry down. But in the top, though, the neroli, lemon, mandarin orange, jasmine, bitter orange, orange blossom, lavender, and sea salt. That top and mid smells really good. So that's another one that I'm going to give this one 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for me. And if the longevity on this for a summer fragrance, for people that don't know, citrus fragrances maybe only last, 4 to 6 hours on skin if you're lucky. If this one lasts a good 6 hours on skin, maybe worth it. So the ones that I'm going to try, so we've got, these three over here, which are knockoffs from the House of Maison Alhambra, all really good. Got Tobacco Touch. It's a really good favorite of mine. Tobacco Vanilla fragrance. Excellent. 10 out of 10. Toscano Leather. 8 out of 10 for me on this one. As far as the entire scent profile. This one's going to be a raspberry leather. But it's not overly raspberry. It's pretty much just leather, but it also has a little bit of a raspberry tone. Then you've got Woody Oud here. And this one is going to just be oud and sandalwood. And then you've got Porto Neroli here, which is going to be a citrus bomb of lemon. It's like a sugary lemon mandarin, neroli jasmine, lavender scent. Definitely unisex on this one. If you're a girl as well, you could probably rock this. But it does lean a little bit masculine because it's musky, right? Like it's not powdery sweet. This one's good. We got a few people left watching the show. If you got any questions, put it down in the comments below, and we'll do 5 to 10 minutes of question and Q&A, stuff like that. Some of the Tom Ford actual fragrances that I have, and because these are very expensive from the House of Tom Ford, before I go out and buy a full bottle, check out the dupe for $25. You know what I mean? And then if I like it, I can go buy the real deal. Save some coin. If I don't like it, like for example, the Toscano Leather. While I like it, I don't think I would go out and buy a full bottle of Toscano Leather because I don't like that scent profile enough to where it's going to get, maybe I go out and buy like a 30 mil, just to have in the collection. Yeah. But Tom Ford fragrances I do have. Would you wear it clubbing? Which one? The Porto Neroli or the... Like, for me, the best club scents that I've got, the ones that I would wear in the club, I would wear it in the club in the wintertime. So if you're going to a bar or a club in the wintertime, for me, I would probably think the one that's sexiest, the one that has the most, I would go with Tobacco Touch, a good vanilla tobacco. This one's strong. It projects, sweet, a little bit sensual there. Tuscan Leather you could wear in a club, but Tuscan Leather for me is something that I would wear to like special events, weddings, etc., etc. Oud Wood, kind of similar. I'd wear that for business functions, business award ceremonies, something where you want to smell. Oud kind of has a luxurious, like a wealthy smell to it. Porto Neroli, you're going to want to wear this one to the beach, summertime, places like that. So vacations, holidays, all that good stuff. The teal bottle, I wouldn't wear it to a club. It's not going to blow yourself out. For the club, you want to wear something like Le Male Ultra Male that's a little bit more loud. It's sweet, it's fresh, but it's louder, right? You're going to project more because you want to grab attention. You want to draw, you want to walk by somebody and then go like, woo. Whereas this one, the Porto Neroli one, is going to be a little bit closer to skin. This one does project though. It projects. That's the Oud one. It projects quite well. But see, like it's only been, what? I've only been talking about for what, maybe 5 minutes? And the smell is already starting to fade on the paper. which happens a lot with citrus fragrances. And that's that tobacco vanille. So you're gonna have to spray a lot of this one. I mean, I could put a little bit on skin here and see how it smells on skin. For people that don't know, on skin and on paper, it smells different because your skin has an odor as well. So that odor, and hopefully, you know, you're taking care of your skin. Check out Ballon Blanc products if you want to do that. Yeah, so on skin, you're getting... It smells very similar to what it does on paper, but maybe a little bit... The citrus is a little brighter on skin. And it smells a little saltier. So the sea salt smells a little bit saltier. Would you wear this one clubbing in the summertime? Yeah, so it's more of a daytime smell. The office, school. Summer vacations. For me, club-wise, you know, I would go with something like a Parfums de Marly Percival or Layton. So if you want a good Layton cologne, you have that. Another one, which is a clone. So this is a clone. This is a knockoff of this. And this is about 90 to 95% accurate. And this has kind of got like a sweet bubblegum smell. So it's a little bit more... It's a deeper sweetness, whereas this is a very citrus sweetness. This is a more candied sweetness. And then you have like... This is Parfums de Marly Layton, and this is a more of a gourmandy sweetness. So like this one smells like Twix. Like so Twix candy bars. With like vanilla, you know, toffee, chocolate, caramel, right? So this is a very sensual, deep, rich, sweet. This is more of your kind of fruity candy sweet. And this is more of your citrus sweet. Because it's sweet. It's not straight citrus, but it's sweet. The knockoff of the Gautier is called 9 p.m. by Affinon. And this is the Ultramall. Really good for clubs. 9 p.m. So it's Affinon. You can see that right down there. Affinon, 9 p.m. And I have a review and first impressions of this on the channel as well. And it's a good one. This is good. Probably the best clone of the Jean Paul Gaultier Ultramall that I've ever smelled. But again, for me, on today's video, that's about it. That's all we got for today. We're going to call it a night. Try to keep these to an hour so that people will watch them after the fact. We have hit up a bunch of different Tom Ford clones from the houses of Maison Alhambra, Fragrance World, and Pandora. So Pandora, this one's a tobacco vanille clone. This one for me is 8 out of 10. Decent clone. A little bit more expensive, I think, than the others. And but not bad. Just a little bit more pretty easy, just basic tobacco vanilla. Then you've got tobacco and vanille from Fragrance World. This one here, not super impressed. 7 out of 10 on this one. I mean, it's close. It smells good, but it's for the amount of money, I would pick up tobacco vanille, or tobacco touch rather, from the house of Maison Alhambra. Get it while you can, because apparently it's going to be discontinued due to a lawsuit, and you can find that one on Amazon. Thanks, my guy. Appreciate it. And then we looked from an Oud Wood clone, from the Tom Ford Oud Wood clone. We had Woody Oud from the house of Maison Alhambra. Again, this is going to be like an animalic oudi wood, but it's good. I prefer this one over this one, Oud Wonder from Fragrance World. Better quality here, better separation between the notes on the woody oud than you're getting from the House of Fragrance World. Fragrance World 1, 8 out of 10 on this one. It's a little bit better than the tobacco or the tobacco touch or tobacco vanille one, but not as good as this one. And then all by itself in the Tuscan leather category, we've got Toscano leather from the House of Maison Alhambra as well. That's what we've unboxed today. We're going to put these on the shelf. We'll be doing probably line reviews, like a comparison. I am going to try to get the Tom Ford version of a couple of these, the ones that I like. At least a decanter, and then we can do maybe like a Clone Wars type of a video. I do have, coming up on the channel, I do have Aventus, right? So from the House of Creed. So we got Creed Aventus, actual bottle here, right? $400. I think I bought the 50 mils, so it's only about $250 Creed Aventus, and we have 4 of the best Creed clones as well, right, for the famous Creed Aventus scent. And we will be doing a video on that on the channel as well. Yeah, Creed Aventus is a pretty famous one, and Andrew Tate wears it. There's a lot of people wear it. It's a very popular one. We're going to be doing that. So that will be an actual live or a video on the channel. It won't be a live show. It'll be a video on the channel. And we'll be doing it like we have with the Leighton. I do have a Parfums de Marly Leighton, which is about a $360 fragrance. That's the one I said earlier that was kind of like smelled like a Twix. Like it's a deep gourmandish, you know, chocolatey, caramelic, vanillic. It's amazing. One of my favorite fragrances of all time. We got a Clone Wars video for that up on the channel as well. We've got a bunch of Tom Ford. I do have ombre leather from Tom Ford, from the actual Tom Ford, that I'm going to be reviewing soon. I do have a couple of Xerjoff fragrances as well. We have Xerjoff Naxos that I've already filmed a video for, but it hasn't hit the channel yet. We've got 40 knots. We've got Ibra as well incoming. And we have a couple other niche fragrances that we're going to be doing as well. So make sure you're hitting that like, subscribe button, all that stuff. Let us know down in the comments below if you have any other questions or any type of clone videos or comparisons that you would like to see, and I will do my best to get them on the docket. But and that's why I started doing live shows. So I've been sitting on these for a while now and just haven't had the time to sit down and do an unboxing. And before I open a fragrance after I bought it, I want to be able to create some kind of content, whether it be first impressions or whatnot. And so these live videos allow me to do that. Allows me to, you know, kind of talk with you guys, share with you guys my thoughts on different things, and all of that jazz. So let me know down in the comments below what you guys think. It's what it's gonna be. It's what it's gonna be. We'll see you guys next time. I'm out of here.